de mini escudo y todo en una de estos competitivos.
Sí.
Pues es lo mismo. Yo te extraña. Ya lo mira toda la gente, ya 13 puntos, loco.
¿Cómo? ¿Cuánto?
3. Cago en ti.
Y te lo crees todavía.
¿Cómo que Ronaldo? ¿Cristiano Ronaldo está aquí?
Cristiano Ronaldo está ahí.
Que le hice me dio un tiro
Así yo le
nada más,
voy,
pero...
Blake.
¿Tú sabes a quién? Ah, ¿verdad? Porque yo lo soy bien bruto.
Mira,
Tú
Blake,
sabes,
loco, mira, Blake.
iba a decir, ¿tú sabes a quién yo no he visto? Ah, Mungral, y Mungral es de
La de
Europa.
Europa. Ah, ganó Blake.
Sí, loco, bien
Eso,
duro, mira eso. 200 de
Mira,
vida y...
y ese, loco, y ese tipo tenía un punto nada más. Cuando la primera vez que lo vimos.
Diablo, loco, pero... Chacho, Pico, de hecho, tiene un 17 puntos, loco. No va a poder. Bueno, puede, pero ajá, tiene que meterse presión al mismo.
Dios, mira todo eso. FCS, ajá.
Este en medio. Vamos a ver, se me toca. Ah, María, no puede ser. Dímelo, mi gente, dímelo, mi gente. Cuando empiece me avisa Jason. Aquí se ve mejor. Estén ahí a ver a lo que empieza esto.
Notificación, FX Fósforo. Nice clean.
Ya lo mira el tipo, le metí un montón en
Aquí
el
le
ojo al
escribiste
tipo.
más mal, loco.
¿Cómo?
Le escribiste más mal.
Él se escribe así, normal. Viendo... Mira, Facebook está en 9.
Ay, vi.
Me le tierra, no veo. Paro. ¿Tú sabes escribir? FNSC. Así se escribe, yo creo, normal. Paró. Ay, qué estúpido, ya deja de escribir, de verdad.
Paró, pato.
FX de... No, nada en eso. Me gusta escribir, no importa. ¿Por qué 3? Me cago en ti.
No me creas.
Dije 3. Así que te calles la boca. Yo voy a parar de ver los comentarios porque tú me estás encojonando. A ver. Bigot no está aquí. ¿Vas a seguir? No voy a leerlo en voz baja. Baja. ¿Cuánto pusiste? Cada dislike le doy a todos tus videos dislike.
No, no puedo tener dislike.
Yo no sé si escribe así la FN. Ah, pero no lo puse en minúsculo. Déjame escribirlo bien.
Loco, o sea, el nombre bueno de nosotros tiene que ser el FXZ.
Ya Buga murió. No.
right around the timer with everyone else, and they're not establishing control over their space. But all of a sudden, all of those other names go down, and
Perdón.
you get an opportunity to step up.
¿Qué?
Notice here how Blake had 0 mats. He had next to nothing there, next to nothing here again, and he's chaining together
Ya
these
está.
impact eliminations.
Bien
Those third
puestecito.
and fourth elims, if he doesn't get those, he doesn't turn this into a more. He doesn't create a victory royale. He doesn't have 20 points in the lead. But because he's able to get those elims and then had the harpoon to be able to get the loot and turned it into another one, he maintains the high ground control. And as the circle moves back over the course of the mountain, he gets the elimination onto Illist as well. And again, we go back to his first 2 eliminations. We talked about the third and fourth ones being so key. He had nothing in those early ones as well. You saw his loadout and you saw his map. He had to push forward and he had to find them. So all of a sudden we talk about how every one of those little interactions matter. He shows 6 different key ones, but particularly the first 4 changed the course of his game. And it wasn't a traditional route that we've seen in solos to a victory royale, but a very well executed.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, these are the old guard we're talking about, right? They know how to play the game. They have the time, they have all of the hours dedicated to playing and having and kind of owning that mechanical prowess. And now it's just kind of falling back on that, right? And that's what led Blake to the win. And I gotta admit, I think the biggest question for me is like, look back at EU game 1, right? We see Flowitz comes out strong, same way, 20 points, then fizzles. Do we think that could happen here for Blake?
So that's been the story of a lot of what we've seen on broadcasts going through. It's really difficult for players to kind of convert right away. One, you immediately draw attention to. Everyone in the lobby is looking to see that name when you go down. They're going to try and probably hawk your drop spot in your route just a little bit extra, maybe see if they can't throw some shots over there, as we saw Kylix do to Tayson in match number 6 in Europe. If you're able to shut somebody down, then all of a sudden it's anybody's race. However, which we haven't seen in a while, is somebody be able to rack off those back-to-back games we saw in Europe just last week, and you're able to build out a substantial lead. However, today, I don't think just a lead is going to be enough. It's consistent, and then it's going to take one huge effort from somebody to separate them. And 6 elims in a victory royale, that's about average. Like we said, it's around 18 to 20 points for a winner, so you can basically pencil in everything.
I mean, that's all it takes, right? Just a handful. And you said it best at the beginning of the show. It's like just being able to stamp your name there and say, look, it doesn't matter what's happening here. You guys are going to play the game I want to play because I know how to do this. I've been in situations like this in the past. That's why I'm here in the first place. That's why we're all here in the first place. So I need to be able to make a statement and say, look, I'm going to be the winner. You're going to play my game.
Baby, tú sabes que
me, and I'm going to just pull ahead. We have to see if that's what happens here for Blake. Very strong showing. Now, we do have 5 games left to go to be crowned an FNCS champion. With all that being said, Fortnite fan, we're ready to hop back into game, so let's send it over to our casters, Aussie and Monster D-Base, to get us into game number 2 on the day.
Thank you, Zeke. Thank you, Sundown, for the great breakdowns and, of course, keeping us dialed in with the competition and the action here. It's game number 2 here at the NA East Grand Finals table. We're here to eat. We're here to see a lot go down right now. Aussie, take a look at this battle map. What's standing out to you right now? Because I'm looking at Sweaty Sands, and I see 4 players contesting it already.
Yeah, 4 players Sweaty Sands. I'm seeing 3 players at Yacht as well as looking a bit hefty. So trying to look for those places that are a little bit congested. Obviously coming into grand finals, these players knew where everyone was dropping. They quite often know a lot of these big names have their drop spots that everyone knows they go to, but it's looking still pretty spread out. We got 3 at Authority, not too many at Caddy. That 2 at Caddy is looking so good to me. Both those players in such a good position. And I was going to comment last game, I was talking about who ends up with the Caddy launcher. Is it someone who's not used to having it? And it was Polarized. Polarized has been going Caddy, so I have to think that Polarized managed to hunt down Cody and take him out with the Caddy loot and get it back into his own hands. We didn't get to see it, so I'm not 100% sure, but we see Blake over here at Pleasant, which means he's also near Clix, so I'm happy to imagine that other player here is the big Clix. So Clix has been playing a lot smarter recently, but if you're going anywhere right now and you're going to have to try and take an early fight, it's not going to want to be with Clix.
And just to answer the question, it was just a weird cross of fate between Aspect finding Cody on the storm line, then Polarized picking it up at that exact moment when he went down.
Yeah.
We'll see how Caddy's launcher plays its factor into this game here. On the other hand, though, we have a battle breaking out, and there's a big group of Marauders on the bridge looking to play spoiler here, part of this fight. You can hear the shots going off. They're just ringing. I think they have the focus on the player on the run right now.
Oh,
and yes, Prickly Boy's looking for the big shot. No, he's not going to find it. Oh my gosh, those are some great AR follow-ups.
Those are some really good AR follows with a gray burst rifle. That's a hard weapon to do that much damage with. 20 damage a bullet, but it shoots 2 at a time. It's very hard to connect 2 shots back to back with it as well. Doesn't have that extra scope on it like the epic and legendary variants do, as Prickly Boy is really pushing this one. He is going aggressive. He has 0 points on the board. We saw him go down last game. He wants to try and prove us wrong, show that he can win these fights. He drops in here and no, never mind. He's going to show us that he is going to lose again, unfortunately. Prickly Boy, fan favorite. I'm cheering him on, but he goes down to Nobu Tragics, who is on 8 points, having a much better day today.
Absolutely. Great defense. Plays that quick reverse card. He says, not me. It's going to be you who gets taken out this time around. And that was against all odds. Let's not forget, he was hit for white damage. No shield in that battle. On Frenzy Farms, though, outside of Risky Reels, it looks like we have a little bit of an engagement going down. It's Bucky. We saw Bucky go down before, and oh my gosh, he's going to make quick work of Simple with a better angle there on the battle. You can see 31 of the current players also competed in the FNCS Invitational Finals. That was the most recent major solo competition hosted by Epic, the official Fortnite competition that has most recently occurred. So 31 players cross over into the grand finals this time around. That is ridiculous. That is so consistent.
Yeah, in what is one of the hardest formats to be consistent. We've seen it already today. One hunting rifle shot, just one mistake can end everything. Trios, at least if your teammates can back you up, maybe they can get the revive off. You kind of have a chance to go ahead with it. But solos, it's very hard to be that consistent. But some of these players make it look easy. You've got Kanata in here, you've got Stretch, you've got Booger, you've got Dubs, you've got players who have been at the top of their solo game since even before World Cup. We talked about how Aspect's even back here today. So there's definitely players who can kind of find their groove and find their rhythm. As Illest, one of them, takes the hunting rifle shot onto Tabs. Illest has a really good loadout to go aggressive if he wants to. Doesn't see the crash pads above him, but he has the pepper going, has the legendary compact SMG, something we haven't seen too much, but this loadout's one that, I kind of leaned for in a non-stack lobby, trying to just, go super aggressive. You have the hunting rifle to get a long-range shot. You've got the SMG for close-range damage, but I feel like Illest probably going to have to try and get his hands on some kind of an assault rifle just to get those Storm Surge tags.
We've seen it all. I saw earlier today, Tomas HD running a tactical shotgun and just a sniper with movement and double heals. So it's up to the player's preference, I guess. In this case, he's going to run that compact. I can only assume that he's going to be putting that controller to use and probably looking to box dive into some players. And just talking about that, players like Furious did not qual through. So Lazy Lakes now not having the FNCS Invitationals champ in the game right now. It's pretty big for him. On your side, though, you do see the format and how it's going to play out, guys. Just that placement, 14 points for the Victory Royale. And placement starts being divvied out at 75th place. But you don't get your second until top 50. We can see how much of a struggle it is to even make it that far.
Yeah, and that's what you're talking about. That's what you normally look at when you're looking at kind of a point, you're looking at a placement format. It's because 14 eliminations is what you need to equal a win. That is ridiculous. You've got to think how hard it is to drop 14 eliminations on the best of the best players in your region when there's so many eyes on you. There's 94 people alive. There's only 5 that have gone down so far this game. So really looking for those big placement points. If you can be like P-God and pick up some early eliminations, that's great, but he didn't get the placement as Illest. Doesn't see this player who's lurking coming into Lazy Lake. I don't think Qua has dropped here. I think he's rotated through, but Illest having none of it. Like you said, trying to put that legendary compact SMG to use as Qua's now stuck in an awkward spot. You can't build here because of the half walls. They're skirting them. Illest jumping up and getting shots. Qua just looks like he's reeling, just can't kind of recover from that positioning. And that's all it takes. I talked about it in solos. He just mispositions, takes a fight up against the half wall where he can't build, and that's enough for him to lose it. He can't do anything, and he's just stuck.
That's it. Illest crowning himself the new king of Lazy Lakes. On the other hand, though, Booga is going to get into the box on Reverse 2K. We've already seen Reverse 2K go down once this time, and he's going to go down again. And it's not looking good. Game 1, Game 2 out of the window now for Reverse. And Booga finally secures himself some points. That's going to be one that he's going to desperately need because his Game 1 was nothing impressive either.
And Reverse, someone who has been performing really, really well recently. Obviously, had his kind of rise to prominence around World Cup, qualified for solos, had that legendary duo run with Ninja, almost managing to qualify. And since then, kind of, I feel like had a bit of a slump in between, didn't hear too much, but recently was a player that I had high expectations for, performing so well in solos and trios. And he goes down again, unfortunately. Not sure what's going on there. He reacted well, though. Booger had the crash pad, fell in through the roof. We've seen so much. Reverse managed to turn around and put the stare on his head to block it. So reacted well, but just, Kanata falls to Ronaldo. No, you know Ronaldo's screaming about that one. You know how good that must have felt for Ronaldo. Whether it feels good or bad taking down a friend, but Kanata goes down in game 2, and I don't think Kanata has many points on the board. We saw him go down early in game 1 as well. Ronaldo is definitely shouting about that one right now.
That's right. We'll be seeing you on the battle bus, buddy. But Ronaldo, man, one of the more exciting players I'm happy to see performing right now. It's his dream, basically, to continue to put up. And all he wants to do this time around is place. He wants to place high as well. And he is on track to do just that. Someone else is on track to do big things here. Smack's been finding his fair share of early game eliminations. And we talk early because NA East in specific is just not the region to really ramp up, right? They're known to have that slower, more passive play.
Yeah.
This second game, though, it looks like players are finding their confidence. Players are not trying to fall behind. They're not trying to leave it for the later half. They're really getting into the action right now. Here's A1 Sid going as far as taking the zone fights right now. And I don't think this player knows that he's in the bush.
Yeah, I think Sid would have taken the shots there, but maybe waiting for a better opportunity. Could have taken it, but he's got a very loud audio cue. That Pepper does make a loud audio cue, and so does that Bush. I feel like he's not going to get a better opportunity in the shots he just had, so playing a little bit passive here, not wanting to take the shots. Frat knows he's nearby, and he's too scared to move. Maybe Sid waiting for him to go in front so he can come in from behind, because he does have that Pepper for the increased movement, but no! Sid, he jumps down, Frat jumps into the bush, knows Sid's there, and Sid picks up the elimination. He gets the minis back as well, but I'm looking at the materials monster, I'm looking at the zone, I'm looking at everything. I don't know if that fight was worth it.
And that's the thing, right? These storm fights, they hold a lot of ramifications if you do not have those heals. We'll see. We'll be paying a close attention to the zone now, to that feed, that elimination feed, to see how it all plays out. On the other side, though, Polarized this time actually secures Caddy's loot. Remember, Cody got it last game. He got away with it, but he got shut down by Aspect early on. Now Polarized has it. With 10 points already, he's confident coming into this game. And I think this is setting him up for success right now.
He needs a few more rockets, maybe 5 rockets. Not bad, but not fantastic. But that's why when you have the caddy launcher, refreshes are even more important. Getting eliminations where you can go and get the loot, and quite often players carrying those rockets is huge. But he still does have crash pads too, so he can maybe save those rockets just for the rotates, and can maybe use the crash pads to get in if he has to go aggressive. But it's Kit's Mythic Charge Shotgun as well. I feel like the Shockwave launcher gets so much attention because it is an item that is just so devastating and is so visually exciting when it kind of just creates these big moments. But Polarized, obviously showing the strength of the shotgun. He's backing himself. He's going straight up on this player's box. He doesn't technically need this fight, showing how confident he is to take it, though. This player's pushing away, and maybe Polarized, sensing that he's a little bit scared, a little bit nervous, might be someone he might want to fight because he's trying to disengage. He really doesn't want to have a bar of this, but never mind. Polarized going to disengage past it, choosing the fact that he needs to farm up some materials. Only has 39 builds so far.
And this is what I was talking about. Game 1 had the fewest eliminations before the third zone this weekend. EU notably ramps up. They go crazy with it. But NA East has that history. They're always playing a lot slower. I think this game 2, though, might be looking to set up the stage a little differently. We're seeing a lot of action for players like Polarized with the confidence coming in hot with it. Here comes the classic crash pad. He goes on in. He follows up. He finds the big crack. It's onto Rocks. And they exchange back and forth. And no! Polarized falls, and Rocks is going to be the king of Kit's Mythic Loot.
And that is so unfortunate for Polarized. He picked the target that he could jump in on, and I was going to say Rocks must have a heavy tac shotgun because he hit him for, I think, close to max damage. So with the change to shotguns now, tactical shotgun is impossible to be able to do 200 damage no matter how good your shot, but he did close to it twice in a row, and he falls. You can't. If you get Caddy's loot, if you are the one who's in the driver's seat, you are in the king's seat, you need to be able to continue that dominance forward, and takes one fight that he does not win, and that's it. Now Rocks has such a good position to have a big game here. Don't know if he was carrying extra rockets. I think he was. So really, really good position for Rocks. Really, really poor fight for Polarized. Oh no!
Things are going to catch up here, though. King looks like he found a big opportunity to slip in a couple shots here. And now he's going to be looking to engage onto this battle. It's Macwood, though. They're going to take this one into the storm. This is going to be an important one to commit to. You got to get it over with here and now. He's only got 2 chug splashes. Yes, he goes on in, and oh my gosh, Macwood nearly bails himself out of that sticky situation. The tactical shotgun versus the charge. It's so interesting to see them go down in the boxes because it's a matter of who catches the bigger opening shot. If you miss that charge, it's over. The tactical wins every single time.
Every single time, and Sundown was talking about it in the pre-show. There's a lot of pressure on Macwood today. He said it out there. He stated he is going for the highest earnings in NA East in online tournaments with Zexro, one of the players he's trying to overtake, not being here in the finals. But Zexro, watching from home, I guarantee is going to be smiling at that one. They are teammates, they are friends, but still he put a little bit of beef on the line, and there it is. Vibifiers takes down Binky, who we saw Vibe go down last game, and Clicks picks up an elimination in the feed as well.
That's right, he took out COD Genesis there. And here's E11 Daxter sitting on the storm line right now, just hiding out, looking up, trying to make sure that everything's A-okay. He's got Starving Boxer right up above him, hanging, sitting low. On the other side of things, though, P-God coming straight and direct out of Holly Hedges. P-God with some of the most active elims for NA East early on in that last game. He fell on that rotating zone. Coming into that mid-game, he only picked up 7 points. This game, drastically different than the last. No elims, and finally, placement point gets divvied out there. 75 players down. Storm Surge is also active. He's finally going to find some. Makes me eat my words there. Okay, put one on the board for P-God. Can he get 2 now?
His AR aim is clinical. I was going to say as well, Stretch going down in the feed before top 75, not even getting the first placement point. So there's some big names going out here. And P-God really wants to push this loot. He's using all his crash pads to get to it. Maybe identified the player had crash pads. He did. So he's going to jump on those, grab the material, and refresh the crash pads up. So really nice play from P-God. And his AR aim today, his long range aim has been clinical. As we saw in that wide shot as well, that Blake, our first place contender right now, who won the first game on top of Clicks, both dropping out of Pleasant. So they're nearby. They have eyes on this. So they're going to be taking some shots pretty soon if they see this fight break out. P-God getting broken out, dropping down a little bit lower, but he still has 4 crash pads and the launch pad to make this next rotate. And there's not that many people on this edge, but as he gets closer to the next zone, there's a lot of people in the way. And this is Calc that's ahead of him. So a very aggressive, very strong mechanical player who could hold him out. But never mind, Calc lets him go, and I imagine Calc goes out and recycles that launch pad. He does, and now they both make it to zone safely.
I just wanted to break that down just a little bit further. That was a great fight to take. I know, ideally, you don't want to rotate out zone, rotate already in his favor. That means that he was going to get to that next now as well. This is going to be the second game, though, Aussie, back-to-back, where it's slowly but surely closing around this weeping section of the map. That means all the trees, all the line of sights that are going to block out, it's not going to be as important right now to hold a launch pad, right? They're harder to use here.
Yeah, it's very hard, especially the crash pads as well. Crash pads will break the immediate buildings around you, but they will not break the tree if you fly up into it, which can cause a lot of issues. So yeah, blocks a lot of sightlines, like you said, though. So you can make smart rotates, kind of use those trees to hide, or you can kind of use a lot of your wood and use a lot of your resources to build walls and then refarm it back up. But we're getting 2 very similar zones, so you got to think about which areas this kind of favors. Those players that are dropping, maybe Fortilla like Dubs, as Nobu Tragics falls to Jark, his first elimination of the game, and Jark having a really nice loadout. We haven't seen the floppers be too prominent in this current season, in this current meta, but Ronaldo last game, I saw him in Storm popping a few, so they can definitely be used to pick up a few more placement points. And Jark has a good loadout right next to Tabs as well, set up on a really good side of Storm. And Illust and Berserk also over here. Zentildo going down game 1 to the headshot sniper, now has no shield, so he needs to do something to pick up his games quick.
That's right, and this is going to be it now. We talk about those trees blocking all the line of sights. It's hard for him now to actually evaluate, right? It's hard for him to read this.
Players.
He's got to cross through all the players here, and there it is. Some crash pads are going to go out, so this might be a free opportunity for him to get a free rotate. But no, the opponent was actually looking to hop in on him, and oh my gosh, he's going to get hit with a hunting rifle shot from the eastern portion, and no, he gets hit again. It's Nanolite. Man, Nanolite with the downrange tags here, just looking into the action. Berserker's going to hop on top of all of that loot, and that means that's going to be his crash pads, his shields. That's going to be massive for him right now to at least keep him in the game here. On the other side, though, we're hopping over. Jack still in the low ground. see Ronaldo still in this game as well. Chelsea still in this game too.
Some big names. I believe I just saw Calc take down Lunes for the second time in 2 games. I swear he took him down game 1 as well. So obviously those two players finding each other quite often, maybe similar rotates, as I'm seeing a lot of players who are dropping the same area ending up together. Clicks and Blake have been rotating very close together as well. We saw Stretched and Booger game 1. So a lot of these big names are dropping similar drops and they're running into each other a lot. And they're having those big key interactions as Nexi trying to put that burst AR to use as he's got more than enough ammo to take some shots. And he has that rotation. There it is. Finds Keox and the Harpoon, which with all the items we've seen at the moment, with the crash pads, with the peppers, with extra meds, not a lot of players carrying the Harpoons anymore as he's just struggling to grab that extra loot. And there it is. Finds that benefit of the massive material boost. 109 builds left now and the 4 floppers so he can swap out the Harpoon for those floppers. That was a really, really good investment there to carry that.
And here's the thing, if you guys watched Tayson's FNCS Invitational victory from the EU region, he banked on having a Harpoon and taking that through to the victory royale in the solo setting specifically. Solos, Harpoon is so good when you're in solos because you are allowed to refresh yourself. We're seeing that now 2 games back to back, even in Spike's loadout here. So I feel like we're seeing a nice classic shift in the loadouts and how things are going to work out. But Spike's in a world of trouble right now. He pulls half in, half out, but he also pulls his lobby's focus. And oh my gosh, the bailout, the get out of jail free card right there. He's going to land the big charge shot, and he's still in the game now.
Still in the game. You see those Harpoons ringing out, so I think he lost a lot of the loot that he would have gained from that one, but he is still alive. He does still have those crash pads, so fully expect Spike when he finds someone here on a wall to maybe go aggressive and try and get in and get that refresh. And now, on the complete other side of things, looks like a completely different game. We have Skittles just set up in a nice breezy area, pretty far to rotate. There's quite a few people in front of them and around them as Ronaldo and Rox also over here. And remember, Rox does have his hands on that Mythic Charge Shotgun and the Mythic Shockwave launch. So someone I'm expecting to shape up this lobby as Crip gets shaped out of the lobby and Skittles gets the elimination.
Hello.
More people to go down, Monster, until we even
Hello.
get our second placement point. NA East is playing out so slow.
Y para el lobby
so
todavía está
steady,
aquí.
just going for that
Está aquí.
consistency with the
Sí.
placement as Jack. I
Mírame.
don't think he does. He spots the launch pad and he's going to go up and try and recycle it as everyone making their way to this half-half, which is already so congested.
Ya me
They're
tienen
building up
cojonado.
in the city here. Everyone trying to find their spot, find their places.
Aquí vuelta, me checate.
Crash padding in. AJ finding this play on the back foot. SF on the back foot with 2 players on both of his walls. It is absolute head.
Cago en él.
Enamorado. To create a new top 10 right now. One of the
Me cago
few
en
players
todo,
I
ahora
saw
no puedo
up there, though,
treparme aquí.
Ronaldo was still in this game. Keep an eye on players like Coop, who was
Mira,
third
me cago en
on
todo.
the leaderboard, on the standings when we came into this. Blake's still in this game as well. So our top 3 still holding strong, gathering points, accumulating points. Right now, trying to hold on to the lead. They're not making it easy for the new competitors trying to step up and take this away. But it's Sid, though, with 4 points right now, who's getting active in the mid-game. He needs it, too. 8 builds his name. That means 80 material, guys. He can't get too far with that, even with the crash pads to rotate across. Okay, he's looking to set it up, though. He's trying to find anything he can. There's a little edit there, though, so he knows there was a player nearby. What is he going to do? He waits. Someone's in front of him. Okay, though.
Might have
Backs
to
up
pull out
now,
the
and
crash
yes.
pad. Oh, he hits it. He goes up into the sky, though. Unfortunately, the Harpoon, though, he goes to
landed that.
Harpoon the wall, and the player
my
hits
gosh.
it.
El arpón sin querer, loco.
Y
lo mató.
Not you teasing me.
Have not much left. They need to have that aggressive play. They need to get something, and they claw their way back.
Me da rotación todos los de estos.
I'm seeing Jark, so many big names still in this, but you talked about earlier, Monster, the trees. They're trying to land, but the trees are blocking them as Clicks is now making his way up on the high ground in a beautiful position. Ronaldo making his way through. P-God, Bucky, this is going to be our who's who endgame, and it's going to break down fast.
Because of those trees, and now a vertical city has been created right behind that landscape there. We'll see how that's going to handle this lobby here, how it's going to create the layer congestion. But moving forward, though, Coop still looking for some action in the low ground. He's facing his way back to the storm. I love what he's doing right now. He still has to cross, though. So he's got a lot of seconds before the clock's going to continue to push here. Those crash pads are going to be put to use by other players. They're going to recycle them. Coop sitting a little too long back here, though. Now comes the pressure of the storm. He jumps in for the loot. Yes, he needs it desperately. No, he gets caught on the back line. With the floppers, though, he's going to be able to sit in zone for a couple more seconds. Will he have enough to get out, though? Now it's going to be the key opportunity for him to hopefully find a frag here when he needs it most. Rotating his way in. Barely any materials. Just 40 left now. This is it. Things are getting cooking here, and yes, he's gonna find one. It's on to Skittles now, and that's gonna be just enough. He's gonna have to edit his way out. We're gonna be catching up soon, though. There's 25 players in the lobby right now. That's another placement that's gonna be getting out. It's gonna be on to King there, Ozzy. It's still going. No. These are a lot of points. Oh my gosh, the flick.
Uy.
Coop fights his way back into it. I was going to say the Siphon came in a millisecond on time. He went down to 50 health in Storm, which means he just got the Siphon before the next tick went through. So Coop going down, but a phenomenal performance back against the wall to pick up, I think, 3 or 4 eliminations as D-Roller already having 3 on the board as well, pushing forward. He's got the cabbages, got 11 builds, so a bit more than we saw when he does. He jumps down, finds the elimination, and then we see Aegis take down Booger as well. D-Roller just making his way through, roll through the lobby like Monster alluded to earlier as Dubs goes down. So I've seen a lot of players
de práctica, loco.
Scenario. D-Roller just set up in his box. He's got the cabbages. He has 2 crash pads. I don't know if he's going to go for Hype Monster or if he's going to go into a box.
That is true, and you saw P got there as well, still getting points, but yes, the shockwave goes out. Hold up, though, Clix is battling up for height right now against Kaz, and I think Clix has got it, but no, now it's going to be a battle of who can hold it. You see the builds there, someone's trying to hold on to height. It's D-Roller, he manages to make his way all the way up to the top, and he's got the biggest refresher you could ask for. 900 medium ammunition, heals to go with it, and some materials as well. This could be his game, and this could be a monster game. There's less than 10 people left in the lobby, though, and he already has 4 eliminations. Can he make it 5 here, Ozzy? He's looking for anything. He is desperate to take home this victory, to prove to the rest of the community here at the NA East region that he is someone to be feared. On the low ground, though, Clix has got a lot to prove as well. The bailout, the second point there, the follow-up elimination, and he still has the refresher too. So he has just enough mats, though. He's going to keep it going. Great layer change here.
Farms down the tree to get those extra builds, and D-Roller has to make something here. If you have this loadout, if you have high ground, you've been given everything. You need to prove that you are here for a reason, that you can close out games like this as there's 3 players alive. Clix falls to Class. D-Roller making his way down. 5 builds left. The 1v1, Nobu Divine. We've seen it so many times before. D-Roller jumping his way down. We get the wide to see what we missed as Class takes down Clix, and there it is. D-Roller taking down Nobu Divine. He falls there. The shockwave launcher does come out on top. We're going to have the analyst to break down what we missed just there, because that was a ridiculous endgame.
That's right. He did it well. He did it textbook. He held that high ground and walked it through to the end of the game. Although he didn't catch a lot of eliminations, he still did a fair job finding some of the points that he needed there. We're going to be shooting it on over to the boys at the desk to break down the action. So do me the favor, Zeke, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Monster, for that. Game number 2 here in NA East. A little bit different, a little bit picking up the pace. We're slowly getting there. We're warming up. You know, it's all good, all good. They're waiting. They're like, hey, Zeke, just hold on. This isn't it yet. Just be patient, buddy. I'm like, all right, I got you. Don't worry. Great game there, though, coming out of D-Roller, finding himself that victory royale